Here's the session I did today. We tracked drums, and this drum kit is not mine. If you've seen any of my other videos, you're probably used to my white Tama. It's always cool to have a band bring in their own kit, especially when it's a good kit. This is a DW. I'm not sure what type of wood. I'm not sure what year it is, but it is a high quality kit. We tuned it up and got it sounding really good. We went through 4 snares, and we decided on the newest one, if you watch my other video, that I got, which is a Ludwig Black Beauty. It's a great sounding snare. It really cuts through the mix. So I'll go through the mics. Inside kick, as always, is a Yamaha MZ204. Outside kick is a Sony C38. The toms are 421s. The hi-hat is a KM84. Overhead mic is an R88. I have a crotch mic right here. This is an SM57. I have 3 mics on the snare. SM57 top and bottom. Then I have another mic on top. It is a P37. That's made by Audio-Technica. It's a small diaphragm condenser. And I'll explain that mic and what I'm doing with it when we get to the preamps. 6 feet in front of the kit at the kick drum level, pointing down at the kick, is an AEA R44. This mic has massive low end, and it's a good room mic. I decided to catch the lows here with it, and I have it, I don't know if you can see the angle through the GoPro, but I have it facing down at the kick. So these are what I consider my close mics, and then this is sort of like a room mic. Then I also have a DL42 in the bathroom. This is a cool mic. It's a vintage mic. It's from Hyder Studio. It's got a 12-inch diaphragm on it. And what I do is I put it against the wall, because this is a nasty sounding room. And what I do is I have it, this is like the spank right here. And I throw a compressor on it, which I'll show you when we get to the signal chains. And I compress it and I tuck it under the kit. Then out here in my fireplace room that has hardwood floors, I have a Flea 47 set to Omni. I know it's dark in here, and it picks up a round in a circle like that. So I'm picking up this whole room, and this is a pretty big room. One whole wall is a bookshelf, and the walls are all off axis, so it's pretty cool. I get a good sound, good lively sound in there. So those are all the mics that I use for this session. There's 14 total, keeping in mind that the mic on top is a stereo mic. That's 2 microphones in one, stereo ribbon. Also the R44, for those that don't know, that is also a ribbon mic. Now I will go through the signal chain. 10 of the mics I have going through vintage API 312s from Hyder Studio 4 console. Kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, tom, floor tom, hi-hat, mono room, that's the R44. Overhead left and right, this is the R88. All 10 of these 312s are going through vintage API 550s. Kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, tom, hi-hat, room, the R44, R88. This is something new that you didn't see in my other videos because I just got it. I had it put together, and this is a very cool thing to have. This is a fader pack, 10-channel fader pack, and what it is it allows me to not use my pads on my API 312s, and each one of these is a fader. If I zoom in, you can see that it says fade, and then these red buttons, of course, are mutes, and I could mute certain tracks, check for phase, isolate tracks while I'm setting up. Very cool. It lets me push these preamps and pull down the fader just like a console, so I don't clip my converters. So that's those 10 mics. Then the bathroom mic is going through a Telefunken V72. That was the DL42 I showed you in the bathroom. That is going into this distressor. This distressor is going into this 550B. Then it goes on to my converters. The crotch mic, which was the 57, goes in the other Telefunken V72, which then goes into a germanium, which then goes into a 550A. And what I'm doing here is I'm boosting 6 dB of 300, 4 dB of 1.5, and 2 dB of 5. And now the fireplace room is going through this Kelrec. I do have the EQ engaged. I am doing a little bit of EQing. That Kelrec is going into the top germanium, which I am doing compression on, and that goes into the second 550A. And again, actually same setting, 300 hertz at 6 dB, 1.5 at 4, and almost the same 5 at 4 instead of 2. So what we got here is the bathroom mic that I already showed you the chain. I'm doing a lot of compression on. I really want to smash that. That is my John Bonham huge boombastic sound, and I like to get it sounding really nasty because I have a bunch of other clean mics that I can mix it with, so I got to get that. That's what I do. Now the third mic on top of the snare, the P37, is going through this 1073. This 1073 is an add-on mic. So I have 3 mics on the snare. The 57 on top and bottom is going through the 312 and the 550. Then that P37 now, I put through a 1073, and I click up the gain until it starts to distort. Then once I hit that spot, I click it down 1 notch, and I fine-tune it with the fader. I am using EQ. The reason why I do that is because I like to push it in to that cool distortion that Neves have, and it really makes the snare pop. I'm not using any compression on this. Usually I would use the germanium or a distressor, but I use those for other things. So I'm not using any compression on this. One more thing I should add is that my inside kick and my outside kick are going through these DBX 160s, and I'm doing 3 dB of gain reduction at 2.1 for the outside kick, and I'm doing probably 1 dB of gain reduction for the inside kick, and those are just DBX 160 XTs. So that is the whole drum miking setup that I did for this session. We started at, they got here at 11, we started at 12:30. We didn't have to do any setup or anything because we did it last night. And then we started recording around 12:30, and we finished around 5:45, and we got 5 songs done. Scratch guitar was a 1978. I don't know if you could see it here. 1978 Gibson Les Paul Special. This is an awesome guitar. I just got it, and it has P90 pickups. This guitar went through the JMP50. The JMP50 fed this 1978 cab. Actually, the JMP50 is a 1978 too, so that whole chain was made in 1978, and so was I. I was born in 78. This here is a Biodynamic M160. And again, this is just a scratch mic. This isn't going to end up on the album. I might use that for a different guitar or whatever, but this is just scratch. And that mic goes to the Kelrec, the top one. It's marked R101, but that's from a different session last week. And it goes into that Kelrec, doesn't hit any compressors or anything, and goes into the burls. And then I also had a scratch mic that just went into the second 1073 just for scratch. The only thing we're keeping from today was the drums. And they're gonna come back. We got 5 songs. They're gonna come back and do another I don't know, 5 or 6 and finish the album. So that's it. That was the session today. Thanks for watching.